What is up, guys? It's Untitled Studios, and this is take 2 of my Bissell CleanView PowerTrak review because for some reason my camera stopped recording in the middle of my last video. But what I can say is that I took some rice cakes and some Wendy's saltine crackers and vacuumed them up, and I guess I have to do that again now because it for some reason stopped filming right in the middle of me doing that, so I have to do it again. No big deal. So, oh, and also, well, I mean, the filters are clean. I don't want to take it apart again, but you guys get the idea. So, this is my Bissell CleanView PowerTrak from 2003 that I made the video on about a month ago, and this machine is awesome. I love it. It's a very well-performing machine, has a lot of nice features. I like the design of the filter system a lot better than the later PowerForce bagless models, and it performs very well. The filtering is terrible, but it's kind of what you expect. But the biggest thing is the performance, which is fantastic. So yeah, the performance on this machine is superb, and the filter designing of it is a lot better than the PowerForce bagless. It still filters very poorly, and that has probably led to the motor being in the state that it is now, whereas my bagged PowerForce from a year ago that I reviewed yesterday sounds still brand new. So that is the biggest weakness of these machines, and probably why they didn't stay on the market for that many years before being superseded by the CleanView 2 with the design of the PowerForce bagless. So even though that design, in my opinion, is much worse, that is, an opinion, and in terms of the motors having better longevity, that is what has seemed to have happened with the PowerForce bagless. Not by much, but enough for the average consumer to be satisfied with it. But yeah, so this machine is very nice. As far as my review of it, I don't really know what to say. I mean, it's similar to my bag PowerForce, but this one has plenty of other features. It has the HEPA media filter, which I actually swapped with the post-motor filter from my PowerForce. But that is one thing that's nice, that they're interchangeable. It has the clear deluxe stretch hose, which actually reaches very far. And then you also have the shorter extension wand, the Crevice Tool, which this is the Crevice Tool that it would have initially come with, even though mine didn't come with one. This is the one off my PowerForce, but it would have had the same design with the little ventilation holes and the notch design similar at the time to the Dyson DC07 Crevice Tool. And considering around the time this came out, you can tell that this was kind of, in a way, competing with the Dyson DC07, as it has the bagless cyclonic design. It's a more of a budget model, and it also has the yellow trim and design that the DC07 had for the majority of its lifespan. So it's pretty clear that it did have a lot of similar aspects to the DC07, and that's kind of what it was being compared to. But in general, it is still generally conceived to be a lot more sought after in the collecting community. And most people would generally prefer to have this compared to a DC-07 in terms of performance, because the DC-07 and a lot of the Dysons around that time, and you can tell by a lot of tests that they don't have as good of brush roll agitation as this does, which is generally more important in terms of vacuuming thick spiral carpets like this. So there's a reason why collectors are usually very polarized when it comes to Dysons. But in terms of this, it's also very polarized. I have seen some collectors where they absolutely hate this design and are completely against any of these machines, and then there are some where they love these machines, and it just seems to be just one of the more popular amongst the community. So I don't know, it's kind of mixed on that front. However, compared to the PowerForce bagless, it definitely does have a lot of better features, better filtration, and I'm definitely glad that I got it for the price that I did, considering that these machines have been so hard to find, considering that they have terrible longevity. And, you know, there are some that are still out there, but most of these have had the classic motor failure where they start to get louder and louder and continuously lose suction until the person who owned them usually just decides to throw it out and buy another machine. Because considering how inexpensive these were when they came out, or this model in particular was around $110, $120, something like that. The regular CleanView with the black hose and without the PowerTrak base with the blue exterior, that one sold for around $90, $100. So I believe it sold for around $90, so around $89.99, and this one was around maybe like $109 whenever it was initially sold. I'm not really sure. I did find a listing on an archive website that said that these were around $129, but that was for that was for the wine color and the one that had the filter change indicator and all of that. Very similar to one that Buster 1849 has, because his is the wine color with that filter indicator. But besides that, is pretty much identical to this purple design and model. So yeah, I mean, there's not really much I can say about it. This CleanView, not this one specifically, but the CleanView series in general, was actually the first vacuum I ever worked on. Around whenever I was 6 years old, I actually had a neighbor of ours, and he had a CleanView. It wasn't a PowerTrak version. I believe it was the regular style version. I'm not sure if it was the one with the blue cyclone assembly, or if it was the one where it was clear like this, where it was gray. But either way, it was a CleanView model, original CleanView, where it had this filter design. And I remember it was basically broken, and I believe he gave it to me or wanted me to fix it. Well, I know he must have wanted me to fix it because I never fixed a vacuum before. But I was around 6 years old at this time, so I guess he gave it to me because there was something about me having an interest in them. So I just kind of tore it apart, and in that time I cleaned both of these filters. I believe he didn't even know this filter existed, if I remember correctly, which is ridiculous because there is literally a sticker on the back of the dirt container that says that these are the filters and this is where they are. But then again, most people don't pay attention to that. They just use the vacuum. So I believe he wasn't even aware of this filter. I think he cleaned this one, but it had been a while because he owned a dog, or multiple dogs I think at the time, and this filter was kind of dirty, so I don't think I did anything with this one. But I remember I cleaned both of these filters, cleaned out this whole upper cyclone assembly. I believe the base was plugged up, so I cleared that out with like a screwdriver or broom handle, whatever I had access to at the time. Cleaned off the brush roll because there was a lot of hair on it and it was just in really bad shape. And then I wiped it all down, got it all clean, and put it back together and gave it to him, and he was like, "Oh, sweet, this is cool, you got this all working again." And he was really happy that I got it working, especially because at the time I was only like 6, and I believe this was right around when the CleanView 2s came out. So he had probably had his original CleanView for a few years at that point, probably 3 or 4 years. And you know, he was ecstatic that it was functional again. And then, in the short time of him using it, about a week later, he clogged it again. And instead of having me fix it again, he just said, screw it, and he threw it away. And he specifically threw it into one of those trash compactor. So not just a regular dumpster, but it actually, basically by the time I heard about this, the vacuum was already destroyed into about 4,000 pieces. So there was no way of me getting a hold of it or getting it into my possession. And at the time, this was like the only time in my childhood where we personally did not own a Bissell, because whenever we were at our old house, in my old house, I mean the one that we were moving in before 2004, we had a Bissell PowerForce bagged, just like the model that I just showed off. And a lot of people had that model, which is why I like that machine so much, because it's been a part of my life for quite a while. But at that specific point when I worked on this, we had a Dirt Devil Envision, and I remember liking this a lot more than our personal machine, because the Dirt Devil at the time, I thought it was really loud, and which it was, because it was a Dirt Devil, so the thing screamed. And you know, it had around similar performance to what this had, but it was much bulkier, it was much more difficult to use, because even when I was like 4 or 5, I still vacuumed, so it was kind of a pain, because it wasn't nearly as easy to maneuver as these were, and especially the bag PowerForce. So, but yeah, that's kind of why I have such an attachment to this unit, or at least the original CleanViews, because it was the first machine I ever worked on. It was the first machine I ever repaired, and it kind of kick-started my whole, you know, repair career, not just with vacuums, but just with computers, game consoles, just in general. It's the first thing I ever learned how to fix. And of course, you know, that's whenever adults were always saying like, oh, you got to do a job where you get your hands dirty. So I was like, okay, well, this is the most literal thing that can get your hands dirty. So that's basically it. So that's basically the story behind why I like these CleanViews so much. But yeah, I'm not really sure what your guys' stories are for this machine, but it's there. So anyway, guys, that was my review of the Bissell CleanView PowerTrak. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and of course I reviewed the PowerForce and some other machines, so if I get anything else before I sell it or flip it or whatever I do with it, I'll make sure to make a video on it, since you guys seem to be interested in it. So anyway, guys, this is Untitled Studios signing out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And if you want to see any more videos with this machine, then definitely let me know. And what are you doing?
Nothing. Is that the new Bissell PowerForce 85,000?
No, it's the new Bissell CleanView PowerTrak.
Oh, sir, I've been looking for this vacuum. How can I possibly purchase this from you? You know what? I've got $80. I'll give it to you right now. In fact, just take it all.
Okay.
No. Well, okay. Just for the sake of the video, though, right? You gotta give it back.
Okay.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna smash it instead.
No, don't. Don't. Dude, don't break that. Seriously.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is really a fine machine, since he's put it all back together and fixed it. So I recommend you buy it from him.
Well, since some of this came out, would you like to do a demo of it running? Well, would you like to do it, sir? Would you like to do a demo of it running?
Why, yes, I would.
You know how to.
No vacuums ran. I thought they only sucked. How does it work?
It's just like the PowerForce.
Not doing anything.
It's not the clapper.
I think it's broke.
No, it's
motion?
No. No.
So this isn't Roomba technology?
No, it's not. It's
not Roomba technology?
No. You press the little.
What is this thing for? Is this for your headphones?
No, that's.
Okay, let's see what it does.
Okay.
Nice quiet.
So, sir, did you enjoy using the new Bissell CleanView PowerTrak?
I did. It's been a life-changing experience. In fact, I will agree with your... it sucks.
So anyway, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed that lovely... So anyway, guys, this is Untitled Studios signing out, and this was my review I, but yeah, so that was a great experience. It was a fantastic. Anyways, so it's great for whenever you need to clean up your various devices. So yeah, this is the Bissell CleanView Bagless PowerTrak. I hope you guys enjoyed my review. Anyway, guys, this is Untitled Studio signing out, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Whew. Any other videos I'm gonna do on the PowerTrak, let me know, and I will gladly do them. So anyway, guys, this was Untitled Studios signing out. Peace.